Okay, this is something I've been sitting with for some time now, and I just wanted to drop some thoughts on it, I guess. And the insight, really, and it's been with me for a long time, is that most people don't hate your ambition, they hate what it reflects back to them. Okay, because when you try or when you show up with effort, conviction and sincerity, you hold a mirror up to the part of them that could be doing the same but isn't, and that is what makes people uncomfortable, and it shows up in different ways. There's a book by a guy called Mark Manson called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, right? And he writes that people will try and project or put the same limitations on you that they've placed on themselves, so don't mistake their insecurities for your own ceiling. And that line and insight kind of hit me hard when I first read it, but it's hitting even harder since stepping out of the corporate world and into entrepreneurship within Onto, because what I've seen in other founders that I'm surrounding myself with is not that they are more talented. It's that they've just decided to believe in themselves, in their ideas, in possibility, and that belief creates momentum. And I remember when I was a executive about to start Onto, and someone really close to me, genuinely, with good intentions, said to me, well, you can always go back to doing something that you're actually good at if this doesn't work, right? It was subtle, it was even supportive, but that one sentence was dripping with projected limitation. You know, almost like coaching and transformation and building something of my own wasn't something I could actually do or get great at. And they were handing me their ceiling like it was a safety net. And I was not prepared to take it, right? And I didn't take it. Moments like that remind you that motivation is fragile, willpower is finite, and if you're not careful, other people's fears can start to shape your own future. You know, when you hear sarcasm or subtle digs or realistic advice, treat it like background noise, because it's not truth. It's theirs. Okay, and since launching Onto, I've had countless conversations with incredibly talented people, smart, capable, seasoned professionals who in some way are stuck, and it's nothing to do with lack of ability, because they're kind of hypnotized by the comfort of paychecks and their beliefs that they can't do things differently, and they're hamstrung by the idea that stepping out means that they're going to lose everything. And I get it, because I was one of those people, right? And the salary, the structure, the safety net, it's seductive, but it can also be a cage as well. And every time I was in that world, I stepped into a new level of my career or ascended to the next level, whether it was in sport, business, or in leadership, I expected to be surrounded by extraordinary next level talent. But what I actually found is that the people at the top are not always the most gifted. They were just the ones who refused to be held back by their own self-talk, by other people's limitations, by the illusion of being realistic. And that was the number one separator that I found by people who could ascend to the next level, and that people remained stuck. The limiter was never talent, it was belief. So if you're regularly surprised with how well things go for you, you know, that's not luck, it's just misaligned belief. And confidence shouldn't be a bonus, it should be a requirement, because self-doubt is a speed limiter. Okay, it will hamper your progression, it slows your decisions, it strangles your ability or appetite to take risks. It even robs you of joy when you do win. Okay, so the next time someone offers you their version of realistic advice, smile, thank them, and walk right past it, because their fear is not your future. Okay, and their ceiling is not your truth. Their limits are never going to be your story, or they shouldn't be. So you don't need their belief, you need your own. So just wanted to come on and reflect that one, because it's feeling pretty real for me in this moment in time. And I promise these videos will get a bit more structured. Until then, I will see you in the next one.